Hi, all people. How's it going? We got some very, very interesting stuff today. We got a lot of interesting news and a couple fun stocks to look at, get some opinions. Hopefully, we can get some people from the audience to come on the show, maybe hear from them, their opinions about what's going on. The first really big thing for people that haven't heard about it, it was with OpenAI. Big news with OpenAI because OpenAI signed some sort of deal with AMD and the stock went up a whole lot. It went up a whole lot and it actually dropped NVIDIA's stock a little bit too. So I know that AMD has kind of always been seen as like the value alternative to NVIDIA, apparently. That the NVIDIA is kind of the premium one and AMD is maybe the value Walmart version. But this deal really seemed to make a huge difference. Absolute game changer with OpenAI. And it seems like also we're going to probably have some sort of analyst upgrades and stuff like that as well. So they announced this deal and it's supposed to be worth billions, I believe. So let me see the exact. So OpenAI will take a stake in AMD worth up to 10% of the company. So let's pull up the AMD Yahoo Finance chart. Let's go find this and see, because this is a little bit interesting because AMD. I mean, look at this, 25% today, up 25% today. I think it was even higher at one point, if you can tell right there. Let me get the better chart up. It's going to take a minute with my internet. But I think it went up as much as almost 35% at one point. All right, let's see if we can zoom out here. There we go. There we go. All right. Let me get some of these things off so you guys can see the chart. Let's just get that down. Or actually, okay, I can put it back up in a sec. And I'll turn the chat off so we can see it. And then maybe, here, let's get in a little bit more recent. There we go. I think that's a little easier to see. So this is AMD. This is AMD. The green line is the 200-day moving average. That green line is the 200-day moving average. And the thin red line, if you see this is the 50-day moving average. Looks like there was a cross in 7/16, so July 16th. And just a few days ago, we were at 166. Now we're at $205. $205, and it went as high as $230, I think, or $220. It was definitely up as high as 35%. And it's this deal that they have with OpenAI is potentially multi-billions of dollars. And it has to do with AMD providing power, and that's gigawatts of GPUs to OpenAI. And it's going to be over a long period of time. This deal that they signed, it's not just for 1 quarter or 1 year. It's literally to provide 6 gigawatts of GPUs to them starting in 2026. And I believe for, I don't know, I need to see the specifics, but it was for like some extended period. Let me look at some of the specifics here. As part of the deal, OpenAI will take a stake in AMD worth up to 160 million shares. Wow, that's pretty huge. So OpenAI will take a stake in AMD worth up to 160 million shares, or roughly 10% of the company. Shares will vest in tranches as AMD hits specific milestones. Okay, so one will vest when AMD deploys its initial 1 gigawatts of chips. And so CFO of AMD said, our partnership with OpenAI is expected to deliver tens of billions of dollars in revenue for AMD while accelerating OpenAI's AI infrastructure build out. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you need the chips, that makes sense, right? So another quote from this is, this agreement creates significant strategic alignment and shareholder value for both AMD and OpenAI, and is expected to be highly accretive to AMD's non-GAAP earnings per share. And so the news that people might have known is that NVIDIA said that it was going to invest $100 billion in OpenAI to help them continue to basically build its own data centers that are powering these AI things. And that was just a couple weeks ago. And there was a pump. Let me pull up the NVIDIA stock, because that actually had a pump after the OpenAI thing semi recently. I think it was a couple weeks ago. But let me go to on here. I believe that they had news not that long ago, literally a week or two ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. Okay, it's loading. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 sec. Let's go to like the 1 month. Well, maybe no. Maybe it wasn't. Let me find it. Here, let's see. So we had NVIDIA OpenAI. Could have sworn there was something a couple weeks ago. Here we go. Yeah, OpenAI and NVIDIA announced strategic partnership to deploy 10 gigawatts of NVIDIA systems. So this one with AMD is 1 gigawatt. 1 gigawatt. So this is 10 gigawatts. So I mean, we can assume it's 10x. You know, I mean that's my assumption here. I think if NVIDIA and OpenAI have a partnership where NVIDIA is getting 10 gigawatts, or I mean, sorry, where OpenAI is getting 10 gigawatts of NVIDIA systems, that's what NVIDIA has to deliver. I mean, their deal with OpenAI is for 1/10 of that. But they did pump up a lot on this. So this was, let's see, this was September 22nd. September 22nd. Okay, so let's go back to the chart and see what happened on September 22nd. Because, yeah, so let's actually go to some of the 10x potential stuffs that's kind of the crazy stuffs. It's definitely not that. So one of the things that we were talking about yesterday was WorkSport, which was a little interesting because it actually pumped up a significant amount today, almost 10%, 7.5%. That's actually a pretty significant jump. They're not all winners. But this actually has had a decent little pump. And they're going to have earnings in about a month, it looks like, about a month at November 12th. November 12th, they'll have the earnings. Let's see if we can get the advanced chart. So what? It opened at, there we go. We don't want the 1 month. There we go. Little over $3, $3.14, something like that, it looks like. And definitely moving. I mean, this is, let's see what it's looking like today. Let's go into the, interesting, right? Very, very interesting. And so Jack compared this to Yeti, and that's a very interesting comparison. in terms of having a premium type product that has a small niche that people within that niche will pay for. And I think that's an interesting analogy, because this company, WorkSport, they're making a lot of things that I guess you would put on the back of, you would put in the bed of a pickup. You would put in the bed of a pickup, and basically it does charging and all these things where it actually it has benefits to maybe people that are hunting or doing something like that. I mean, you could see people that are outdoorsy, maybe hunting or fishing, could see a use for that. It has a use. Just have to kind of see, you know what I mean? I think it's let's go to their website and see. So they call it AL4 and AL3 covers. AL4 and AL3 covers. And let's go to, let me pull this up here. You guys can't see it. So they're making kind of a higher quality product and a niche. Here, these are these pickup, flip up covers. Tonneau cases to go on the top. Some of them have charging. Okay. Hard covers. I mean, these look decent. They look fine. Definitely look good. Definitely see. I mean, that's if you need a cover, at least you can see they got a product and stuff. Let's go back to the chart. Let's go back to the chart and check it out. I mean, it's yeah. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, they're not all winners. They're definitely not all winners. Definitely not all winners. Yesterday, we were talking about Ciata. We were talking about Ciata. And looking at that one today, unfortunately, not looking too good. Not looking horrid, but not looking great. This was one of the ones that we were discussing because they had a new deal. And because they had a new deal, they're going to be doing some sort of ticker change soon. They'll be having a new name, but some of that may not be priced in yet. I guess we'll have to see. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes, what their deal is, what the specifics are. My understanding is that they're doing ads, and they're doing ads that are more in the mobile games, and that's definitely been a niche that's been very, very, very beneficial for companies like AppLovin. AppLovin is, once they got included into the S&P, it's gone up even more. I know it's pulled back a little bit, but AppLovin's a very interesting company. There's not a lot of potential for AppLovin to. It's tough. It's tough. You want to see where it goes now, now that it's in the S&P, but it has had a really great run so far. And they make these mobile developer or more mobile games, and then they get these mobile developers to publish their games and kind of promote their games, and then they're taking a percent of it, and then they have all these kind of software development kits, that they kind of give to people so they can do their own things, and it's clearly made money with the advertising. They're clearly doing something right, and they're able to advertise and market somehow. So, it makes sense that somebody like Ciata would try to harness that same thing with the mobile gaming, the ads, and market that. Yeah, definitely. Let's see what's going on with Micron, because Micron is another one that is interesting. because I think they had, yeah, exactly. I think there was a new high. I really don't like this I can't stand this Yahoo Finance thing, but it will work. Let's see how it comes up on the advanced chart. Maybe this will work. It keeps kind of glitching out. Okay, well, there we go. At least we can tell that it's going that direction. That's helpful. So Micron. Micron is another one, a little interesting. Little interesting because there's a lot of people that are pretty bullish on Micron. Pretty bullish on Micron. So I'm not totally sure where it goes, obviously, but I know that I'm pretty sure they hit a new high, and I think that this 190 something is a new high. But there's other, companies that are definitely doing similar stuff that might be a little bit cheaper, cheaper alternatives for sure to that. You got to do your own research, of course, but there's definitely some options in there. Maybe Western Digital. I don't know if people have interest in something like Western Digital. See what that chart looks like. Let's see what Western Digital looks like. $126. $126. Ooh, okay. Well, here, this is the 1 year. This is the 1 year. That's the 1 year. That's the year to date. And look at this recent. Wow. This is the 5-day right here. This is at 131. Looks like now it's down to 126, though, unfortunately. So that one's popped down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Another one, I mean, I guess we could maybe look at Intel. That's kind of popped a little bit already with all the recent news. There has been a lot of news with Intel for sure. Part of that had to do with, I believe that the government took a significant stake. The U.S. government took a significant stake in Intel. I think I believe they took something like 5 or 10%, and that they bought shares. I'm not totally sure. I'm not totally sure the specifics around that, but I thought that Intel was having problems, to be completely honest. I thought that Intel was kind of on its last legs a little bit. Like if we look at the 1 year, I mean, this is well, here, let's do the 5 year. I mean, here's the 5 year. It looks like it's going down, 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 down. That's what I see. This red looks like it's going down. This green looks like it's going down. It's not looking good. That's the 5 year. That's the 1 year. Now, in the 1 year, it does look like it kind of changed. Look, and what is this? August? Definitely looked like it turned around there. And now we have the 50-day moving average going up, and then also it looks like the 200 is starting to as well. If we look at year to date, okay, 3 months, a little better. 6 months, 3 months. So yeah, I mean it's that's a tough one. That's definitely a tough one. That's a tough one, especially when yeah, I don't know. I think that it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the U.S. government's involvement now in it. to see if that really helps. I think that they also had a change of leadership with their CEO, and I believe that they replaced the CEO with somebody else, or got a new CEO, and maybe that'll make a difference. I do think that there was also a Intel NVIDIA partnership of some sort. Let me see. Let me try to find this. Okay, here's something. AMD. So here's an article from WCCF Tech. AMD stands unfazed by the Intel NVIDIA partnership, with executive claiming that the firm will continue to provide, quote, disruptive technology. AMD has commented on the recent NVIDIA and Intel partnership, claiming that the firm is confident in its roadmap that the great solutions are forthcoming for the PC market. AMD is confident in its upcoming product lineup, stating that they are ready to compete with the NVIDIA Intel chip. The NVIDIA Intel chip. The Intel NVIDIA deal was a blockbuster announcement. Well, that's, yeah, so it was NVIDIA said they were going to invest $5 billion into, this is what it is, $5 billion. So NVIDIA was going to invest $5 billion into Intel, and that's to build new x86 SoCs featuring NVIDIA's RTX GPU. So NVIDIA announced a $5 billion deal with Intel, and both firms will collaborate on joint chip development that'll focus on consumer and AI computing segments. So the deal with Intel for NVIDIA includes developing the x86 chips featuring the RTX graphics. And so, I mean, I guess the idea is after NVIDIA shared that Intel will build custom chips for NVIDIA, maybe there's going to be more stuff to come, you know. Who knows, though? Who knows? But I think the thing is that because this is focusing on AI and AI clusters or whatever, it's like people are hopeful for the future for sure. And let's see, Trump made a big investment. So here's the exact facts. For data centers, Intel will build NVIDIA custom x86 CPUs. Intel will build NVIDIA custom x86 CPUs that NVIDIA will integrate into its AI infrastructure platforms and offer to the market. So for personal computing, Intel will build and offer to the market x86 system on chips, SoCs, that integrate NVIDIA RTX GPU chiplets, and the new x86 RTX system on chips will power a range of PCs that demand integration of world-class CPUs and GPUs. So that's pretty interesting. You got to say that's pretty interesting. That's definitely interesting news for sure. Let's go to AppLovin, because that's one that I was bullish on, am bullish on long term, but it's having a little bit of struggles right now. It's definitely having a little bit of struggles right now, which is unfortunate. Definitely a little bit unfortunate. I had a call last week on AppLovin and unfortunately lost money on that. I was hopeful. But you win some, you lose some. You know what I mean? You win some, you lose some. That's just how it works. And the reason why we were looking at Seata was because of, well, kind of AppLovin, because of what AppLovin did. And AppLovin's had a lot of success. AppLovin has had a whole lot of success. And it's come on hard times a little bit recently, for sure. Definitely coming on a little bit of hard times. But I think it's fixable. I don't know, though. It's expensive. It's hard to justify it when it's that expensive. And I think that's why people start looking into these other options, because it becomes really hard to just to bet against it. But you know what? If people are big on, yeah, here, let's look at Seata. Sure, let's pull up Seata. Let's pull up Seata. Let's check that one out, man. Welcome to the stream. What's going on? Because Seata was something that we looked at because of, trying to find a value App 11 type marketing play. We have the 1 day it's about $3 right now, $3.05. So we had a little bit of a drop. 5% down. Looks like it's down 5%, but there's still time. There's still time. Especially with some of these things that we were talking about yesterday with changes and stuff like that. Maybe you have to give it more time, see what happens with it. I think that there's potential, always potential, right? There's always potential. But I think that they're changing the ticker sometime this week to CHAI. CHAI is the ticker that they're changing it to sometime this week. And yeah, let's go some more Seata. Let's see more Seata because Seata develops and provides cellular communication systems. So they specialize in push-to-talk over cellular devices for enterprise and first responder customers. But then I guess they're doing some leadership changes, and they're going to be doing some different stuff with this merger. And since having this core gaming merger, they're kind of moving more into, I guess, maybe AI. Yeah, Chai. There we go. Chai. So it's they're trying. So Seata, they traded up. If we look at, let's go back. Yeah, so we go back. Look at what it was here. Let's go back a little further and see what we got. Okay, so not looking too good there. Not looking too good right there. But if we look in the last little bit, we see it going up here. So we see something positive going around. Where is this? This is 10. So this was what, Thursday or Friday? Looks like we definitely had some positive catalyst then because it was $2, $2.20, something like that. And now it's $3. So basically a 50% increase in just a couple days. Even with the small correction today of, what is it, 5%? That's still a pretty large gain. And this is, yeah. So I guess that Seata mobile merger with Core Gaming, it's going to be Core AI Holdings. And I guess they're going to focus more on AI development. And so this is a strategic transformation trying to capitalize on, I guess, Core Gaming's expertise, which is trying to grow beyond just traditional mobile gaming. But so App 11's had a lot of success moving beyond traditional mobile gaming. And that's what's really interesting. App 11 is really, they make these little games. People click on the games, and then that's marketing money. And they make a lot of money doing it because a lot of people click on it. And so right now, I guess Seata is going, really, they're trying to leverage a lot of stuff to get into this AI market. And there's definitely, if you look at the recent price movements, there's definitely an upward trend. There is 100%, definitely an upward trend. That could be a short-term thing. Who knows, right? I mean, you never know. It's not financial advice, but it definitely, you can't deny that there's an upward trend there. We've got to see where it goes, what happens. But there was some positive catalyst for sure. It appears. Another one that's a little interesting, talking about, if we want to talk about kind of cheaper, um, I mean, I don't really know if I want to say it's like a value because I really don't know much about it, honestly. But Navitas Semiconductor Company, Navitas Semiconductor Company, um, their chart looks pretty nice. Let's see what we got. Here's okay, no, let's do, okay, that's fine. That's the six. All right, here's the 1 year chart. This is the 1 year on Navitas Semiconductor. That's NVTS, which is up 5% today. And they do, I guess, gallium nitride semiconductors. I don't really understand why that's important, but so it has to do with charging and stuff like that. So, everybody talks about how, how you power these things is going to be the future. That's why we were talking about ADN yesterday. We're talking about ADN for that exact reason, because the battery power, charging capabilities. But think this company does the same thing, and I believe that NVIDIA has some sort of deal with them. Let me see. Let me look into this. Navitas Semiconductor recently announced a partnership with NVIDIA to jointly develop 800V HVDC architecture for AI data centers, leveraging its advanced gallium nitride technology. Wow. Well, that sounds good. That does sound good. I mean, that sounds great. Definitely sounds good. You have to wait and see if it is, but it does sound, it sounds like there's potential there. If you have a deal with NVIDIA, I think that's kind of a good thing. I think that's a bullish sign. I think that's a bullish sign. Let's go out to, all right, so not looking too good there, but if we look at the 1 year, we got the 200-day moving average at 450. We got the 50-day at 669, and then today it's at $8. So let's see what we got in the last month. Let's look at 5 days. The 5 day. Okay, the 5 day looks interesting. The 5 day definitely looks interesting. The 5 day looks a little more interesting looking at that. I think that the partnership with NVIDIA should be something that, we'll see what happens with that. Let me get some more info on what they do. Because I guess it doesn't really matter too much. I mean, overall, in the last month, it's up 46%. Last 6 months, it's up 370%. Last week, up 16%. Today, it's up 5%. So NVTS is definitely on an upward trend for sure. Some of the things not on an upward trend are App 11. I got into App 11 at the wrong time, that's for sure. I lost money on App 11. I am down on app. I'm down on app. But I'm not down on app overall. I'm down on that app call, and lost big on the app call. But that's what you get. That's what you get for trying to dance with the app 11, especially on something that makes new highs every day. At some point, you got to expect some sort of pullback. And that is what happened with app 11. Kind of bought at an unfortunate time, I would say. But it happens. It happens. And I think that you win some, you lose some. You know what I mean? You win some, you lose some. You win some, you lose some. basically is what I would say. And something I'm looking at today because of Bitcoin is basically all the Bitcoin miners, I'm looking at all the Bitcoin miners because basically all the Bitcoin miners are doing pretty well because Bitcoin's doing well. So I'm looking at all the Bitcoin miner companies. I didn't take any any calls or anything in any of the smaller companies, I would say. I mean, I did get an iron call today. And then I have some calls that are in the money for iron that I need to roll out. But I was looking at a few things like BitDeer and Hive. BitDeer is one of these Bitcoin miners. They're up 8% today, but they do something with, I don't know, they mine it and then they use the AI stuff and all that. So it's a little interesting. Here's the last, let's see if we look at the last, that's the 6-month chart, moving average around 14 bucks. Price today is 20 bucks. Here's the 3-month chart. There's the 1 month. Wow, the 5-day looks crazy. That's the 5-day. And wow, that's the one today. So that's BitDeer. That's BitDeer. I don't know if anybody's heard of BitDeer, but that's one of the ones we're working with. We got BitDeer. Another one, if anybody's interested, we got Hive. It's another one of these Bitcoin. Again, I don't really understand, but these Bitcoin things are up big. The Bitcoin things are up big. This is some Bitcoin blockchain thing. If you see, it's up 25% today, $5.50 something cents, I guess is what it's priced at. So Hive is, I don't really know what they do, to be completely honest. I think that they have a trading platform, like Webull or something, I think. So if I look at their thing, it says Hive is building a bridge between digital currency in the blockchain sector and traditional capital markets. It operates data centers for computing and mining cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin and other coins. They operate and own green energy powered data center facilities in Canada, Sweden, and Iceland. Okay. Interesting. Definitely interesting, right? Definitely interesting. I mean, that's a big jump in a day, 25%. 25%. When Bitcoin goes up, a lot of these kind of associated businesses pump as well. And Bitcoin's at 125.5 today, 125.5, but it also hit a new all-time high. Sometime today. I think it crossed 126, like barely. So like because of that, all the Bitcoin related stuff is pumping too. And that might, I guess we got to see where it goes. You know, if Bitcoin can stay or hold above 125, 126, or even get up a little bit more, I mean, that could be a really good, Just got to see. We got to see what happens because we really depends. You know, it really depends on Bitcoin. It really does depend on Bitcoin. Another one of these is Riot. I don't know if anybody knows Riot. This is up 10% today. This one's up 10% today. It's another one of those Bitcoin mining. I don't really know, but it's in that universe of the Bitcoin mining plays. It says a Bitcoin mining company engaging in the provision of special cryptocurrency mining computers. It invests in Verity, CoinSquare, and TESS. It operates through Bitcoin mining and engineering segments. The Bitcoin mining segment maximizes ability to successfully mine Bitcoin by growing hash rate. Okay. Don't really know what that means, but market cap of $8 billion. 22-week high, or the 52-week high is $22, and it's at 21.45 right now. So and AppLovin just really shot down. Let me show people that. It was just at 650 a couple minutes ago when we were talking, and now it's at 633. It's dropping quick. It's dropping really quick. Really, really quick. Here we go. If we look over here, yeah, dropping quick now. AppLovin's going 628, 628, 630. Really dropping fast. Dropping really fast. Wow. Yeah. Wow. 608. 608. 608. Wow. $608. Wow. 608. That's insane. That's a huge correction. 600. Almost $600 now. Wow. There has to be some news, right? There has to be something for them to drop that much that quickly. Now it's maybe coming up 617, 6. I mean, it's coming up a little bit now. Wow. I don't know what even happened. It just really popped hard, just instantly. Instantly. It went from 660 to 609, almost like in a snap of a finger. I don't see any news or anything. Wow. There has to be something. There has to be some. Now it's under 600. Now it's under 600. It's under 600 now. Wow. Look at this, guys. It literally went down about $100 in less than a couple days. That was so quick. That was really, wow. There has to be some bad news or something. I'm going to try to find what happened, because wow, you know what? I'm glad that my call was for last week and not this. I'm glad I'm out of that. I'm glad I'm out of that. Wow. That's wow. Let's see. Jim Cramer says I would not bet against AppLovin stock. Is that what happened? Is that what happened? Is that what happened? That Jim Cramer endorsed it? Wow. That was quick. That was really, really quick. I mean, now we're under $600, that was really, really quick. I feel like there has to be some really, really bad news with that. Not really sure why it's dumping. I don't think they have earnings right now or anything. Let me see when the earnings are. It's oh wow. Now it's 580. 580. It's really dumping quick. 580, 585. That's really, really 582. Wowzers, guys, that's a big dump. That's a big dump. That's a huge dump on AppLovin for sure. Wow. Not sure what it's I know that maybe it is earnings. Maybe it is earnings. Has to be something. Wow. I'm really surprised to see that. But what a dump. What a dump. It went from 670 to 560. Just boom, like that. Wow. So that's I mean it went down literally 100. So it let's see. 15 minutes ago it was $668. So it went down $100. It went down $100 literally in 15 minutes. Wow. I mean that was just that's interesting. Very interesting. Has to be something going on. Has to be, because that, if we go back, there was actually so much there was solid momentum. There was really solid momentum here. There was solid momentum, very solid momentum. And then I think it just man, it all fizzled. It really fizzled with that, fizzled. That is unfortunate. That's unfortunate, but what can you do? Now 575. But its PE ratio is 100, So this is very, very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. Wow, what a dump. What an absolute dump. Might even go down to 550. It's at 560, 559, 557. I mean, this might even, let's look at the, I mean, here, let's go over here. We see this? Wow. This is, so now it's at like 540. Or can we get even, here, let's do 1 minute. Okay. This is what we're working with on App Lovin'. So 560 at least, so we're going up a bit. But wow, yeah, so that just dumped, absolutely dumped. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. Just kind of out of nowhere too. But you know what? That's how it happens. That's how it happens. All right, let's check out some of the other things that we had on the list. First one was the AMD. The AMD because of the news with the OpenAI that they had. And that was the same type deal that OpenAI and NVIDIA had, where it's some sort of, billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar partnership. And so AMD went up something like, I mean, geez, look at let's go to yeah, here's the 5-day. That's 5 days. You see this right here? This is 10-6 at open. This is open. That's the open. Whew. That's open. Let's do 1 day. Here's today. So it went as high as like what, 215, something like that, it looks like. And now is slowly kind of piecing down a bit. I mean, this deal is interesting because OpenAI is going to get 10%. They're getting 10% of the company. So curious where it goes. That's kind of what I want to see. Just want to see that, honestly, because I think people have always seen AMD as the budget NVIDIA, but maybe with some sort of partnership, we're going to get something different. Let's go check in on work sport. Let's check in on work sport. I think everybody's losing money on App Lovin'. At least we're all in the same boat. At least we're all in the same boat. Work sport. Okay, up 7 point something percent, moving up, moving up, moving up. Okay, moving up. Check the 5-day. Okay, we had a cross right here and cross over here. Let's go back to App Lovin', because I think it was 550 and now it's moving back up again. Is it going to cross 600? Yeah, see, now it's at, oh wow, now it's at 592. Now it's creeping back up. Now we have it, so what? I guess it met some resistance down here, and now it's going to creep back up. What was the low? 551. Looks like it hit 551, and now it's creeping back up to 600. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Wow. What? I mean, so it looks like it went from basically in about 15 minutes, it went from 680 all the way down to about 550, and now it's at like 590-ish. Now it's coming back up a little bit, slowly, I guess. Wow. Not sure what this was even about. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Look what it is, boys. App Lovin' FEC probe. Oh no, that's not good. Let's find it. Yep, that would do it, guys. That would do it. That would do it. The SEC is investigating AppLovin's data collection practices, which has also led to a securities class action lawsuit alleging misleading statements about the company's ad platform, Axon 2.0. Oh no, that's not good. Short sellers reports released in early 2025 allege manipulative practices, including backdoor installations and exploiting metadata, causing a drop in AppLovin stock price and prompting the investigations. Security and Exchange Commission is looking into methods of collecting user data. AppLovin allegedly misled investors about its Axon 2.0 digital ad platform and its AI technology. Well, let's see what this says. AppLovin probed by SEC over data collection. Oh, of course, they put it behind a paywall. Oh, no. I need the paywall. I need the paywall. Well, we can just see it here. Yeah. SEC probe into data. Well, that could be nothing or it could be something. You know what I mean? It could be nothing or it could be something. We'll just have to wait and see, unfortunately. That's some unfortunate news. That's definitely unfortunate. Definitely, definitely, definitely. What can you do? Some bad news, man. I think another one worth talking about is maybe Tesla, because there is some news about Tesla where let's see what it is. There's this like there's supposed to be some Tesla reveal. I don't really know. Here, how do you get where's the Yahoo Finance? All right. So they're up. What is this? 5%, something like that. 5% today. That's actually over 450. Wow. Come on, load the chart. There we go. All right, so that's the 1 day. I mean, definitely looks, so there's supposed to be something that they're releasing, maybe some new product. Some people have hinted that, oh, well, maybe it's a drone, maybe it's something like that. I've heard a lot of people say different things, so I don't know. We'll have to see. I think it's supposed to be tomorrow, and I guess we'll see tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, it's there's some hint that they're going to be doing, releasing something, whether it's a new car or a drone or robo taxi. I mean, who knows, right? I mean, no one really knows. It could just be a game. It could just be a game, Who knows? It could totally just be a game with with our good friend Elon. So who really knows? Who actually knows? Let's look at CoreWeave. Look at CoreWeave, because CoreWeave is something that's having a little bit of a sell-off right now. It looks like they're dropping a little bit. They're definitely. I know that they have some sort of NVIDIA deal as well that gives them a sort of preferred status, which is. I mean, I think it's important. What do I know, though? I do think it's interesting. Definitely interesting. So CoreWeave does some sort of, I don't know, cloud services or something like that. That was interesting with the app Love and Dump. I definitely didn't expect that. Figma. No, 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 no. I meant Figure. This one. Figure. This was an IPO recently, but it's had some pretty good movement. This was, I believe, the person who started it or founded it had some tie to SoFi. I don't know if people have any knowledge of SoFi. It's like a banking type thing. I'm pretty sure there was a tie to that. I don't know if I'm not really sure what it was, but there was some tie to SoFi for sure. Something I did today, one of the plays that I lost money on to talk about, I could talk about IWM. Is that not coming up on here? Of course not. I did an IWM call, but no dice. I did it the wrong time. I did a 249, probably. What time was it at? It's probably around like this right here, but it was a total miss. I did that. Another one I have for this week is I have a Palantir. I have a Palantir. 192, which is down pretty heavy. my Palantir 192.50 is down 77%, but I bought it like kind of right around here. So I bought it and then it dipped, so it's like I kind of, I thought about adding to it when it was around here, but then I got worried and I didn't. And now I'm just hoping it kind of creeps up. I got a few days, I got a couple days, which is not too bad, but it's still not, it's tough. It's tough because it's down so much. So, but I think when it's down that much, it's like, oh, why not just hold it and see, So I got the Palantir 192, which, I mean, that would need a big movement, that would basically need almost like a month's worth of moves in like a couple days. So that's probably not going to happen. I do have a MSTR. I have an MSTR call for my calls for 360. For 360. So that's kind of like right around that point right now. I expected Bitcoin to do a little bit more, to be completely honest. I kind of expected a little bit more from Bitcoin. I expected a little more from Bitcoin. I don't know what. I mean, I don't know. I expected a bigger move from some of the Bitcoin related companies. And so I was a little surprised to not see that. Because there was definitely a gap up, but not. I expected a larger one, honestly. Expected a larger one. Expected a larger one. And I expected it I expected like coin to go up. I expected, I don't know. I expected a little bit more, I think. Another one is, could look at Galaxy Digital. This Galaxy Digital was one that jumped a little bit today. Yeah, 7%. Jumped 7% today. Market cap 14 billion. 14 billion. Range, a low of 17, a high of basically what it's at now. So basically right around the high. This is the 1 month. That's the 1 month chart. Here, that's the year to date. It's the 6 months, 3 month, 1 month, 5 day. That's the 5 day. Wow, look at that 5 day. And then there's the 1 day. Wow, so it opened yeah, it was a pretty good day actually for Galaxy. Looking at that, surprising, not too bad actually. Really not bad. Really not bad. I think that they do, let's see, it says they engage in digital assets and data center infrastructure, delivering solutions that accelerate process and finance and artificial intelligence, operating through the following segments: digital assets and data centers. Okay. I mean, I don't know too much about that. That's something that's new to me, that's not something I really know, but interesting, definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. I mean, it's can't deny that there's a trend. Can't deny the trend. Another thing I was looking at because of Bitcoin, I guess, would be bullish. Be bullish. This is an IPO I got into the IPO on bullish, and I've held it since IPO. I haven't sold any of it. I didn't get that much. I didn't really get that much in terms of shares, but I've held everything I got from IPO. And they're like kind of like MicroStrategy, I guess you could say, where they're like a Bitcoin treasury type company. But I think they're focused more on institutions, like larger banks and stuff like that. but they are backed by Peter Thiel, who is, backed a lot of big things like PayPal and Palantir and all that. So they're an institutionally focused digital asset platform focused on market infrastructure and information services. All right, that makes sense. Yeah, that's interesting. Let me pull up SoFi because SoFi is one that I find interesting because, well, I got calls, or not calls, plural. I mean, I have one call. I have a SoFi. Let me put it in here. I have a SoFi 31 for the 31st of October. Oh, whoopsie. 31, not 41. 31. Typo. 31. 31. 31. So I have a SoFi 31 for the 31st of October, and I'm down big on that. I was actually down, no joke. I was literally down minus 99% at one point. Now I am down, let's see, minus 77.8%. So it's slowly creeping back, guys. This is what I get for degenerate gambling. But it's slowly creeping back. Okay, it's slowly creeping back. It had kind of a tough little thing here for a couple days. It had like 4 or 5 like red days in a row for sure. It was struggling a bit, but I think today it had its first green day. Yeah, it had a green day today. Take a victory. Nothing too huge, but something. And it was a victory, it was a victory. You got to take the victories. You got to take the victories. Definitely got to take the victories. And it was a slight turnaround. If there's a turnaround, sometimes you got to just got to take it, really. You do just got to take it because it's especially in something like this. This is more of it's had a lot of growth, especially if you look at what this is. That's 6 months. That's year to date. That's 1 year. That's the 1 year right there. I got in, unfortunately, kind of at like the worst time because I basically bought calls, when it was just starting to go down. I kind of bought them at the wrong time, but I think there's time for it. I do think that there's some time for it. And then I would say another one. I was looking at Coinbase, obviously, like I said, because of MSTR, or because of Bitcoin. I thought that Bitcoin would go a little bit higher than it has. Honestly, I expected a bigger move out of MSTR and Coinbase with what was happening, I guess, with Bitcoin. I saw some of these other miners, or like the Riots and BitDeers and Hive and those companies go up. So I kind of expected a bigger leg up from, I don't know, Bullish and Mister and Coin. Maybe, people need more time to see what happens with Bitcoin, where it settles out, if it gets above 126 or if it goes below 120. But I guess that was a little. I expected a bigger leg up for sure. I did. I didn't. Yeah, I certainly did. I certainly did. But what can you say, right? Let's look at Reddit, because Reddit's had some interesting action recently, I would say. Let's look at here's the 1 month, or that's the 3 month, sorry. So that's 6 month. That's year to date. That's 1 year. So here's the 1 year. Here's the year to date, the 6 month, the 3 month, the 1 year. So here's the 1 year. 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 The 3-month. Now, the 1 month is kind of there's a little bit of a downward trend, but I think it maybe coming back up a bit. Oh no, let's see. Today down 2%, 173. So struggling a bit. I thought it went up, but okay, I was wrong on that. A little bit of a downward trend there, down 1.7%. But their market cap's only 38 billion bucks. I think that there was a lot of worries because of the fact that OpenAI, I guess, maybe was, or ChatGPT wasn't funneling customers there or something like that. Like there was some concern about, the fact that ChatGPT was not basically relying on it for answers and some stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea, but it seems like if I search for Reddit stuff, they comes up pretty quickly. I don't use OpenAI, so I'm not really sure about that. But it seems like that might be kind of little overstated. But I mean, what do I know? I'm biased. I like Reddit. I mean, I don't know. I think that Reddit has potential because of the advertising, and that's kind of what's kept me engaged with it. But it does have some crazy swings, and it's over 100 times earnings. It's still trading at over 100 times earnings, and it's it fell like 10% last week on one day, just on Wednesday, because of the ChatGPT news, and so there's some big swings with it for sure. And I think that people are concerned because Reddit's entire business is basically dependent on AI. Their whole business is 100% dependent on basically AI plugging it. And if AI doesn't plug the business, they don't get eyeballs. And if they don't get eyeballs, they're not going to get anybody clicking. They're not going to get any money. And so that's the problem. And in the past, Reddit has had deals with OpenAI. They've had deals with Google. And I guess they did some sort of even like dynamic pricing and stuff like that. And, if they are not able to get a higher payout despite being cited more frequently by OpenAI, I mean, that's kind of an issue. You know what I mean? I mean, the thing is, Google also they push people to Reddit, and people are pushed to Reddit, and then I guess they look at it as like a large language model, like modeling type thing, and any change to the algorithm could totally any change to Google's algorithm could totally impact Reddit's valuation. That is a concern because if Google changes its algorithm and then they don't start driving the lion's share of Reddit's traffic, because they're the ones that give Reddit their traffic. If they stop kind of doing that, I mean, that would really impact the growth of that. And at the current valuations where it's really insane, I don't really think they can afford to do that. Their advertising is the vast majority of what they bring in. And so they're relying on bodies, they're relying on traffic, and they've performed well. They got tons of people that are active on it, and they have turned a profit. But I think that the AI model is definitely where it where the next stuff is. People want to see that. They want to see the AI. They want to see the AI. And that's kind of, that's the most interesting part to a lot of them, I think, at least. Let's look at Supermicro. Let's look at Supermicro. Supermicro Computer Instruments, is that what it's called, or Inc? Look at Supermicro. I had a Supermicro call for last week. I think it was 51 or 52. It didn't hit. I know I missed out. Let me see what the loss was. I don't think it was too bad, but it was definitely a loss. I lost $100. Damn. Yeah, I lost $101. I bought, let's see, I bought an SMCI 52 for 82 cents. And then I had to sell it for 6 cents. Damn. So paid 80 bucks, 82 bucks and sold it for $6. And then we got the SMCI 51. I paid 130 and then sold it for 105. That's not that big of a loss on that one. But okay, between the two, lost on Super Micro. That's tough. That is a tough one. Slowly making it back though. Another one that was tough. I lost a little bit on SMS or SPX as well. That's another. That's tough. That was a tough one. The SPX got me. Definitely got me pretty good. But what can you do? Sometimes it happens. Some days are diamonds and some days are stones, you know. What can you do? That's just how it works. That's just how it works. What's another? Why don't we look at EOSE? We can look at that. We can look at EOSE. EOSE Energy or EOS Energy. They're doing battery stuff. Manufacturing, designing, deploy battery storage solutions. So, I mean, this is, the chart's interesting. I mean, this is, what's the market cap on this company though? That's what we have to see. What's the market cap? We have 3 billion, $3.4 billion, or $3.8 billion company. 35 million is the volume. So it's being traded up 10% today, 25% in the last week, 100% in the last month, 178% over the year, and 300 and something over a full year. I mean, so that's the 1 year chart. That's the year to date chart. That's the 6 month, the 3 month. Wow, that's just, look at that. It's going up. I mean, from the look of it, for sure. Wow. Let's look at let's look at NBIS, because this was something we were looking at the other day. This was looking good. I think it went up to like 135 and then it went down a little bit. So it had started out nicely today, all the way up to 135, 133 something, and then finished up kind of low after that, unfortunately. But it started out nicely. It did start out nicely. Or it tried. Definitely tried. It's a nice effort. And if we look at the 1 month, that's the 1 month, that's the 3 month. The 6 month. Wow. All right, let's look at, I think we looked at CoreWeave already just for a minute, but that was one that's interesting because it had a little bit of a down today. Not too bad, but a little bit of it. And so where that goes is going to be a little, that'll be interesting for sure. Because they have a deal with NVIDIA is the thing. They have a deal with NVIDIA where NVIDIA is basically going to buy out all their unused, cloud computing or whatever for quite some time. I don't know how long, but for some time. I think it was like years. Seriously, they're going to buy out anything that they don't use. And so if it's just completely, not used, they're just going to sell it to Nvidia, and Nvidia is going to use it. So basically all their reports will look pretty good for a while. They'll look very good for quite a long time, I would think, basically, is the idea, we'll see. We will see. We'll see, but I'm not, I just know that cloud computing is something that a lot of these companies seem to be getting into. Seems to be a big business. Seems to be a big business for sure. CoreWeave. Yeah, they IPO'd like maybe a year ago at like 30, 40 bucks, something like that. Under $50 for sure. And it had a peak. I mean, what was this? 140? Oh, it definitely was higher than that. What's this? Look at this, 180. It went all the way up to like 180 or something at one point. So this definitely had success. Definitely had success. Definitely had that. Definitely had people piling into it at one point. And then what happened? I don't know why it really pulled back, to be completely honest. I'm not sure why it pulled back. But it did a little bit. Let's see, last month. So like 112, a 5-day. Here's 5 days. Yeah, so earlier in the week we had, what was this at? Oh wow, like 140. Okay. Yeah, so a little bit of a downward about this Bitfarm. Bitfarm was something that what's their price at now? Let's go to, here we go. Here's the 1 year for Bitfarm. The 1 year. I mean, they basically just mine crypto, is my understanding. But it's all the Bitcoin plays, 14%, anything Bitcoin related. Definitely there's potential when if Bitcoin's going up, that these things might do something. Obviously, it's all dependent on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes down a bunch, then none of these are going to really hold up, would be my guess. That's my assumption. The thesis is basically as long as Bitcoin holds up, most of these other Bitcoin related companies should do okay. But if Bitcoin doesn't, then these might sell off really, really quick. But you got to do your own research and try to figure out what you're comfortable with. I think that there's potential with it. I mean, I have some calls for this week for Bitcoin related plays. So nothing too crazy. Like I said earlier, I have an MSTR. I have a MSTR 360 for Friday, and then I also have a coin 400 for Friday. The Mister's up about 20%. The coin is down about 15%. But then I think I mentioned I have the SoFi for 31 at the end of the month. I have a planter for this Friday. And then I have a bunch of IREN. I have some IREN and Nibius calls. And that's all I got. That's all I got in my options account. Yeah, I have IREN and Nibius calls as well. Let me show y'all IREN. That's another, that's another kind of vaguely Bitcoin related play. I mean, they got some Bitcoin action for sure. So like, Got some calls on iron. I was thinking about rolling one of the calls. I was thinking of rolling because I have a 47 and a 50, and now I have a 60. And I thought about rolling them into something else just for capital efficiency, but haven't really done that yet. Because now that it's in the money, I mean, maybe I'll exercise the iron 47 and buy the shares, maybe that's what I'll do. I'm not really sure. I need to kind of figure out what I want to do. I think that, because it's, I might exercise it. I might exercise it and get the shares, because the thing is, I guess my concern is that, so Iron's like a neo cloud provider. And so they've really had I think they've had rallies for a lot of different reasons, and so it's a little concerning, but they've been expanding their AI cloud capabilities. They have thousands of these NVIDIA GPUs out, and they're actually trying to generate, hundreds of millions in cloud services, and so it seems like there's some positive momentum here, that's just how I see it. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just, it's something that's got my eye, and that's why I have calls on it. It caught my attention, boys. It caught my attention, so I got calls on it. Just like Nibius caught my attention, so I got calls on it, Iron caught my attention, so I got some calls on it. Nibius caught my attention, so I got some calls on it. Like the stock. You know what I mean? I like the stock. It's just, it's nothing crazy, nothing really crazy, just like the stock. Basically, is how I would say it, It's looking good. What else do we? Oh, what about Cipher? Why don't we look at Cipher? CIFR. Cipher mining. Good look at that. That's another one. That's another one that's worth kind of looking at. Definitely worth looking at. Cipher mining. Cipher mining is another one of these Bitcoin mining things. It's in New York, and my understanding is that they also do the cloud stuff. So they don't just do the mining. They're doing some cloud services. A lot of these places that have the Bitcoin mining capabilities, they're now using their like services for other things, like they're seeing benefit and maybe changing from Bitcoin mining to, doing more like processing and data and scaling and stuff. And so I think that people are seeing benefit in that. And I think that some of these companies are moving to that, actually. And I guess we'll see, right? It's interesting, though. And Cipher is a company that they've had a lot of success recently. If we look at the last year, 270%, year to date, 200%, 3 months, 160%, 1 month, 100%, 20% in a week, and about 4% today. A little bit down in after hours, but yeah, definitely going up, it appears. Meta's one that's a little interesting too, because it appears to be on a little bit of a downtrend, a wee bit of a downtrend. I know that Meta has earnings soon, and my assumption is that since they've kind of been going on a downtrend, not financial advice, but I kind of thought, well, maybe they could gap back up to what these highs were, assuming they have a good earnings, So my thought was, well, maybe they can have a decent earnings, and then this hit they've taken over the last week or two, where they're down 6% in the last month. Maybe they could gap back up with that. Maybe they could kind of correct that. That was my thought. It's kind of a risky play, but it was something I was thinking about. Maybe potential in it. You know, there could be. There definitely could be something there. I think that another one that's a little interesting is Hood, obviously. Hood's had a lot of success, and I know that they're having these prediction markets and all this stuff. They had a little bit of a dump, like a small dump today. Where's the 1 day? Here we go. Yeah, so like there was a little bit of a dump, but not, I mean, not really. Like, you know what I mean? Like it went up to like 150 and then, you know, down like $5. So it's not, wasn't really anything crazy. I did have a 147 Hood last week, a call. And I don't know what happened on that. Let me check in my app and see if I can't remember if I won or lost, or I just can't remember. It all blends. Let's see. Let me check the Hood. Oh, I won on my Hood. Okay, so what was the play? What did I do with it? I did a Hood call for 147. I did a 147 call. Okay, a 147 call. Interesting. Yeah, it's I think an interesting play. Some people, I am curious what people do with Tesla, because it looked like if Tesla releases a new product, you know, this could really really go higher. But at the same time, if there's nothing released of substance, it could really dip. So I'm just curious to see what happens with Tesla. It seems like today, I mean, today it went up $20. It went up 5% today. It went from 320 to 350. And then in after hours, it's gone up too. So it's at, or sorry, 450, sorry, 454. It went from 430 to 454, basically, you know. And so maybe there's, we got to see what's going on, you know, what it is. Maybe there's going to be drones. Maybe it's going to be drones, you know, who knows? Maybe it's going to be drones. Maybe it's going to be something else. I mean, I don't know, but it's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting to see what happens with it, for sure. Because you know, as some people have thought that maybe there's a deal with somebody like Joby. Whoopsie, I typed that in wrong. Maybe a deal with Tesla and Joby, or Tesla and Archer, something like that. There's some speculation that there could be that. Some sort of Tesla, Joby, like drone deal. I mean, it's yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious what it is. I mean, some people think it has to do with Joby or Archer. You know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But I mean, there's, who knows? You know, who knows? The Joby is a interesting business, as is, look at Archer. Archer's another one. There's some speculation that Tesla might have some sort of deal with them. I mean, if that's the case, I'm sure that things would take off tomorrow. No pun intended. But yeah, I think we would definitely have some liftoff on that for sure. It would be interesting to see, because there is a lot of talk about Tesla and what they're doing, and people think that it might be drone related. It might be something with a drone. It might be something with you know, people, it's, who knows? I mean, people are all, it's all speculation, but some people think it's something with drones. And if it's something with drones, it could be one of these companies like Archer or Joby that have some sort of contract. Who knows, though? You know, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Let's look at Oklo. Oklo 138. Pre-revenue 138. Popping though, definitely popping. We got an upward trajectory, it looks like, for sure. But the moving averages are, wow, we got like $50 on the 200 and 88 on the 50. So we had some kind of explosive growth off there for sure. Definitely had some explosive growth. Something we could look at is Oscar Hell. I think there's a bit of a move up in the after hours on Oscar. Yeah, a little bit of a move up to like $25, it looks like, on Oscar. But Hive's going too. Let's go back to Hive. Let's check Hive out. It's like Hive's going up even in after hour. And go to the 1 month on Hive. And 5 day on Hive. Here's the 1 day. 25%. 5% after hours too. Over 5% after hours. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, over 5% in after hours. The Bitcoin plays. Yeah, the Bitcoin plays are really pumping, it seems like. But if Bitcoin drops, these are all, I mean, I would think all of these are going to be kaput. You know, if Bitcoin drops even just a little, I mean, because there's a lot of volatility in Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes to like 125 or maybe crosses below what it was before the weekend or goes to like 110, I mean, that's over. And I think it's kind of dependent on the government shutdown and stuff too, because that's kind of bullish for Bitcoin. So kind of curious where that goes. I mean, it's tough. It's tough because the coin and the Mister, they're just so dependent, and so are all these other companies. You know, the Hives and the whatever. I mean, there's so many of them. There's so many of these Bitcoin companies. You know, Bitcoin kind of treasuries and like Bitcoin kind of like no, they're just like kind of in that space, you know, in that zone for sure. And there's just so many. Another one that's a little interesting. We mentioned Oscar. We could talk about Fubo. We can talk about Fubo. So no, that's one that's a little interesting that has some 10x potential in terms of you know, it's a low starting point. Let's see what we got here. Downward trend. Let's go back. Okay, look at that. 3 month, 6 month, the 1 year. All right, that looks pretty good actually when you look at it like that. Doesn't look terrible from that direction, honestly. We have, well, so what's it at now? 392. Okay, I mean it's a lot of, yeah, it's kind of tough, but I think there was some talk. So it's at 392 now. I think there was some talk that they might have a deal with Disney or something like that, and so it kind of surged for a little bit. Another one that's in the same kind of price range. We got Big Bear AI at what is this at? 769 now. So it was up almost 7% today. Up 7% today. None in after hours, but again, look at the trend. It doesn't. I mean, I see it going up. I mean, there's some fluctuation for sure, but I'm not really sure exactly what they do. I think they do like government contracts or something. I'm really not sure, but I mean, last year that's the 1 year chart. I mean, so like some fluctuation, here to here, but I mean, the trend looks decent. Year to date, I mean, yeah, again, the trend looks decent. Trend looks okay. 6 months, 3 month, 1 month. Yeah. And then what's the 1 day? Let's see the 1 day. That's the 1 day. That's the 1 day. Let's go back to Bitfarm. So this is at 350. 350. It was up 14.95 today, up, I don't know, 0.5% or something in after hour, or not even that, less than 0.1% in after hour. So that one's interesting. What about, critical metals? That would be something. This has had, I keep hearing about this. I don't really know these. I don't know these metal plays. It's not really something I know anything about, but I have heard about this CRML recently. And the trend is, let's go more to like the 1 month, or that's the 3 month. That's the 1 month. All right, the 5 day, and then the 1 day. Yeah, if we look at the 5 day, wow, up 45% today. That is pretty big. I think it's what was that other one? LAC. This was another one that Trump was talking about. And so what? It's $8. He was talking about it maybe a week or two ago, and it was like $4 or $5, probably around here, 3, 4. Oh yeah, I've never even heard of this company. I don't know what they do. I have no idea. But he did tell people to buy it, and he mentioned it probably about a week ago. And let's see, the 50-day moving average 250, 200-day moving average 390. Interesting. I mean, so that's the government bought it. Government bought into it. So that says something. The government buys into it, that shows some confidence. Definitely shows some confidence, I would say. It's proof of some confidence. How much? I mean, I don't know, but it's definitely proof of some confidence for sure. Definitely some. Let's go check back in on App Love and let's see how bad that looks. 580, 587. Oh no, 550. Oh wow, no, 550. I think it's all the way down to 550. Oh wow, it went down. It's at, yeah, 550. Oh my gosh, 550. Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad. Yeah. So Bloomberg reported the SEC is probing the mobile ad tech firms' data collection practices, including possible breaches of partner services agreements for ad targeting, according to people familiar with the matter. Shares fell as much as 19% during the regular session. Review by the agency's Cyber and Emerging Tech Unit follows a whistleblower complaint and short sellers reports alleging unauthorized fingerprinting to track users across apps. Conduct restricted by Apple and until February by Google. AppLovin denies creating alternative device identifiers and says it regularly engages with regulators. So they deny it. But I I guess this article says it also puts platform relationships with Meta, Amazon, Google at risks. Any limits those partners impose could curb data access, compress take rates, and slow growth. And yeah, I mean it's gone up 70% this year, so that's definitely not news you want to hear. Definitely not news you want to hear. If you own AppLovin, you know, if you own AppLovin, that's definitely not something you want to hear, unfortunately. But it's the way of the game. It's the way of the game, right? What can you do? It's the way of the game. It's the way of the game. So let's see what else we got. What about, what's another, is there anybody in the chat that has an interesting one they want me to pull up? Anybody here, anybody in the chat want me to pull up anything interesting? Any suggestions? Anything? One of the other ones I was looking at today was UiPath. I was looking at UiPath. Again, don't really know what they do. Don't really need to know, to be completely honest. I just I know they do robotics and AI and something like that. And I liked the chart, man. I liked the chart. Really just that simple. I liked the chart. Yeah, I think a lot of the things for what I'm going to do for, since we're wrapping this up pretty soon, we got about 10 minutes left. If anybody wants to join, I'll drop the link in the chat if anybody wants to join. Maybe I'll go over what I'm going to play for tomorrow. Again, I'm playing the Bitcoin stuff, guys. I'm playing the Bitcoin stuff. I am looking at, I still have my MSTR and my coin calls. The coin one's down. MSTR is up just a little bit, but I honestly expected more of a pump. I want to hold them a little bit because I'm hopeful that maybe Bitcoin can do something crazy, like, I don't know, hit 130 or something. I mean, it's highly unlikely, but I have time on those calls until Friday, so I want to give them a little bit more time, and maybe I'll get lucky because the coin's down. But I mean, I think it can figure it out. I mean, I think there's time. I mean, gosh, I was down 99% on my SoFi. And it's only now starting to come back. And so I need to give it some time. You know what I mean? Give it some time. So what I added today, I added an IRIN. I added an IRIN 60 call. And then I also did I did IWM 249s, but I lost everything on those. Lost 94%. Lost 94%. I got 2 calls on IWM for 249, but I just reversed right away. So I lost those. The Palantir is for Friday. I have a Palantir 192.50, which is down 77%, but I think there's time for it to leg up and at least me get some of that money back. The Coin 400 is down 16%. But I feel okay about the Coin 400. I don't actually think that Coin's going to hit 400, but I do think that it'll hit like 380 or something like that. So like I think that, or it's already at 380, but so I think it could leg up a little bit more. It's at 386. I think we could get up to I don't know, maybe 400 or something if I'm lucky. If I'm lucky, it could definitely go right back down. But I think that if Bitcoin can kind of hold up, I think that the Coinbase could be okay. You know, I mean, if Bitcoin falls, then the Coinbase is donezo. It's game over. But I'm hopeful on that. I have an IRIN. Okay, my IRIN calls are for later in the month. I don't have any IRINs this week. My IRIN calls are all for later in the month. I have it for the end of the month and first week in November. My Nibius call is first week in November. So yeah, this week, all I got, guys, I got the Mister and the Coin and the Palantir. Yeah, let me keep it simple for the guys. Let's keep it simple. So what I have for this week. I have Mr. 360, a coin 400, and Palantir 192. What else this week? That's it. Well, I had the IWM, but that's closing out for zero. So those are the only positions I have option-wise so far left in the week. So I have the MSTR, I have the coin, and then I have the Palantir. My other positions, like the iron, I have an iron 47, I have an iron 50, I have an iron 60. Those all end later. I have a Nibius 122. That's for November. I have a SoFi 31, but that's for the end of October. And then I have an Ives 36, but that's for February. So I have, I got a little bit of time. I want to try to roll out the irons. And my goal was to roll out the irons because I heard that you can make better money if you basically get one that's out of the money, you know. So I'm thinking of rolling out the iron, but I haven't done that yet. But I'm thinking about it. I'm not too hopeful on Palantir. It doesn't. It's a little worrisome the way it's looking because it laid down last week. Let me pull that up. And it's already had a lot of growth. But let's see. So that's today. So we went up 4% today. I mean, so that's like after last week when it was up around 185, 186, and then it dumped all the way down to 175. So, you know, hopefully that can correct 175. Okay, so it went from like 175 back to 180. But to get it to 192 by the end of the week is probably, you know, that might be a bit of a stretch. Unless we got something really good happening, you know, we got to get some lucky news or something. Got to get some lucky news. I was thinking about playing CoreWeave calls just because there was a little bit of a dip. I kind of wanted to do CoreWeave a little further out, you know, maybe like 6 months, year, something like that, a longer call. But okay. Okay, how do I do this? One sec. Here it is. Shoot. Here you go. All right. Hopefully we'll get Jack on. We can talk about some of the stuff for a few minutes. Some of the stuff we were looking at. What was the last thing we had up here? Oh, we had the iron. That's what it was. We were talking iron. Talking iron a little bit. Talking a little bit of iron. We look at the year to date. Here he is.
Hey, Nick. All right. I'm trying to drive and do this whilst. Will, how's the stream going?
It's good. It's surviving. I was trying to catfish some people on, but no dice. But hopefully we can get some people on here. We were talking about a couple stocks, basically. We talked about NVTS, Navitas Semiconductors.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard about that. It's kind of a smaller semiconductor company. Talked a little bit about AppLovin because AppLovin crashed pretty hard today. I was expecting I was expecting a leg up. It went all the way down to 5. It's 559 right now. 559 right now.
Did it? Okay. Yeah. Did it break through that moving average? I think it was a 15-minute chart I was looking at. Did it break through those moving averages on the 30-minute chart, the 50 and the 200?
I think it did, and then it went straight. Got some bad news of a SEC probe, and then it crashed. Yeah.
The SEC probes.
Yeah, I know, right? Link for Patel. Yeah, so it was looking good, and then it was looking good, or it was looking okay. You know, it got up to 6.8 or 680 something, and then dropped. Sorry, go ahead.
Can you pull up the chart? Can you pull up the
this is app
30 minute?
30 minutes.
Hang on,
One sec. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if I don't know. I'm trying to. I got a map going. I don't know if I can see it. I can't even. Okay, yeah, I can't. I gotta keep my eyes on the road here.
Yeah. Focus on the road. It's okay. Yeah, it's all good.
Okay, but I think okay. So I was looking at it. I was looking at the 30-minute chart like earlier today. It was about to break down. It was going to do a bounce. I don't know. So it didn't bounce. It broke through. Right. If you look at the 30-minute chart, is it below the 200? Is it below the 200 and the 50 also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Hang on a second. Oh, there we go. Hang on. Can you zoom out? Can you zoom out on the chart more? Is that where is it? Oh, is it below? Oh, so it was.
It's like right here now. This.
Is it that arrow? Is it the long down arrow? Is it the long down arrow I'm saying?
Can you say that again? You kind of cut out.
Is it the long down bar?
Yes, it's the
long down that's it. Yeah, no, it's busted. No, okay, okay. Look at the daily chart. So I think this is it. Remember yesterday we were saying, okay, the stock is like it was looking very unstable because it was very what do you call it? You had that parabolic move up. Yeah. You had that massive parabolic move up, and it was like basically a whole vertical climb. But you know, like on the short-term chart, like like I was saying, like it could have like a blow. So it looks like this is it. Looks like this is the top, because it's like it failed. It basically is. Well, I mean, it doesn't. Well, the problem with this is that it really it's bad for Seattle, because we were saying that Seattle is kind of like the
the
poor man's
app loving. Yeah, the poor man's app loving. So I mean, they kind of had like Seattle went down a bit today, not too bad, but 5%, 4-point-something%. So yeah, I mean that it didn't look good for them. But the other one actually did look good was Worksport. I think it was. Let me pull up Worksport, because that one actually went up. Yeah, almost 8%. Worksport went up 8% today. Oh, shoot. I think we lost him. Let me drop the link again, because I think his connection went out. Here, let me. Oh, here, you're back. You're back. All right, I lost you for a second. Okay, yeah, you're back now. Cool. So I pulled up Worksport, because Worksport went up a good 8% today. Like Seattle was kind of a disappointment, obviously trying to follow in the app loving footsteps. But Worksport had a good day, closing up 8%. And it looks like, maybe we lost him again. Here, let me send him the, I'll send him the thing. There we go. Shoot. This guy. Try it again. There it is. All right, cool. Hey, man, you're back. Okay. Cool.
Okay, so
this is Worksport.
Yeah, it's hard. Okay, so I can't really look too much on the chart. I gotta
get. Sorry, my bad.
I gotta drive myself. I can't. These stocks are doing so bad. I can afford.
No chauffeurs today.
No chauffeurs. They're all on strike. So basically, but at Worksport, here's the thing. So the Worksport is breaking out above the moving averages. The thing is, it's got to break. It needs to really clear this range. It's been having if you zoom out, you see it's been having kind of a difficulty, getting out of this range, out of this channel. But what I always say is, the bigger the channel, the bigger the range. The bigger the base, the bigger the breakout when it happens, because it could support a much wider, it's like when you're building a 200-story building, you got to have a deep base, deep foundation. So the same thing with these things. So
that makes sense.
Now they had some pretty good news today. So they have a new product which the market doesn't understand. I'm going to be doing a live stream with them later in the week.
Nice.
Which is they have this thing called a heat pump, which is apparently it's like a multi-billion-dollar market. It's a very boring thing. It's like for home heating and air conditioning, but they have this like apparent this
Oh, okay.
engineering
I found this.
thing. It's
Worksport partners with NREL to test cold climate heat pump.
yeah,
Worksport.
the,
Okay,
yeah.
interesting.
You know what it is? Listen, the market doesn't understand this stuff, but these like so. In other words, here's the thing: Worksport is basically it's like this innovation company. It's kind of like you ever hear of Honeywell,
Yeah, I've heard
companies
of
like that.
Honeywell. Yeah, yeah.
There's a bunch of these boring industrial companies that make a ton of money and they start with one product and then they expand. It's like ADT. I mean, there's like a million of them. That's what there's a whole bunch of them, right? So it's like
Yeah.
so the opportunity though for work sport. Listen, at some point in about 5 years, work sport is going to be a boring stock. It's going to be like just boring growth, whatever, 10% growth. But the sweet spot is right now when they can scale up, when they can go bananas and go from like 20 to 100 million. They can have a couple of really massive years. They're going to have they can have like 3 to 5 years ahead of them where you have this exponential growth, which is with all these different products that they have. I mean, listen. Here's the thing: the market's only going to get excited when they see the numbers. That's when the market's going to get excited because the market doesn't understand it. Retail investors, they don't want to hear about. I mean, it's not sexy, these covers, truck bed covers, but you know
No,
what they
no.
actually have. But these guys are very good at marketing. They have a great Instagram page. You're on Insta. Are you on Instagram?
Yeah, I think Yeti was a good comparison because Yeti's like a
Yeah,
solid product, but that's a solid performing stock. You look at
yeah.
time and stuff, so it's you got a
It's
good product in a small niche, it can work.
it's the same thing, but these guys have multiple niches. So it's like anyway.
It might
So
take some
how many?
time.
Did you get any? Do we get any? We get anybody on the stream? I mean,
I
what's going
literally
on? We get
got no people on the stream. There was one comment, literally just one comment.
what?
So, yeah, I
Any?
know. How do we promote
Nope.
this more? We got to do something. We got to do something.
No
No
cougars.
cougars, no super chats. This was the only comment. It was what's happening with
Yeah.
SYTA. I don't know. I've never
Oh,
seen him before, but he's
wow,
welcome.
wow.
So we
Okay,
talked about
okay.
SYTA a bit, but
Okay.
yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. I'll on the next
It's
one,
it's
I have a
it's
stock
hard.
Discord. I'll put it on
It's
that. Maybe
hard.
that'll help. I mean, I don't know. It's we'll take anything, right? I'll put it on my Discord. I have a stock one. I can put it in there, and hopefully it'll make a difference. I don't know. It's I think the most views it had at one point was like 3 or 4 people actually, which is a little unfortunate. But just got to keep hustling, got to keep grinding, got to keep grinding. And guys, where the flip did he go? Let me drop the link for him again. We'll be back tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow. We'll talk about the market again tomorrow around the closing bell. We'll do this again. The main stocks, just to kind of give everybody a wrap up that we talked about today. We talked about AppLovin's big dip. We also talked about the AMD. We talked about AMD and their huge partnership and how they soared with that deal with OpenAI. Talked a little bit about the NVIDIA dip because of the AMD OpenAI thing. Talked a little bit about CoreWeave and Nibius. We also talked about some of these Bitcoin plays like Cypher Mining and BitDeer and Hive. I think we looked at Meta and Navitas semiconductors. We also looked at Joby and Archer and talked a little bit about Tesla because Tesla is supposed to be releasing a new product tomorrow. Some people think that might be VTOL. So we talked a little bit about Archer, a little bit about Joby. And then we talked about Fubo. They might have a deal with Disney for something. And I think we talked about Bullish and Palantir and Iron and a little bit about Nibius and CoreWeave. And I talked about my calls, which my calls are, they're not looking good. Oh, hey, you're back, man. I was just killing some time telling them what we talked about,
Nick. Oh, hang on, Nick. By the way, did you put the link onto Twitter or just YouTube?
Oh, it might have been
for
just YouTube.
Stream.
I think it's just YouTube.
Okay,
I did.
Okay.
Oh, dude. Okay, which Twitter? Okay, dude, which Twitter? My bad. Okay.
Okay, the
Oh, so Wall Street Reporter.
Twitter.
Oh,
Yeah. Wall
dude.
Street Reporter, Twitter. Yeah.
Okay, I just clicked it right now. Okay, well, I'm ending it, but okay, dude. So I just
Okay.
did it
Okay.
on YouTube.
You.
That was the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
I just start. Okay,
Yeah.
so I see it
The
now. It's
YouTube.
live
Yeah.
on there. My bad. So do it on these two each time.
Yeah, basically, yeah, YouTube and Twitter, because the main audience is really, I don't know, YouTube, YouTube for some reason is pretty dead.
But
YouTube
you
is,
had
I don't know
hella
why.
people on Twitter the other day or last night when we did it. There were over
Yeah,
200 people. I did
yeah, no, Twitter.
the first time I did a Twitter thing, I did an Affirm IPO thing, and I got like 700 people on there. I don't know how, but
Wow.
there's more views
Yeah,
on Twitter for sure.
Twitter. No, I think Twitter. I think for stocks, Twitter. I mean, like YouTube is kind of like a. I don't know. It's like most of the views I'm getting is really TikTok. Like the YouTube is pretty dead. I mean, it's
I need
really
to
like.
try TikTok.
I think
Yeah.
Twitter. Oh, so by the way, how did Fubo? What did Fubo do today?
Let me pull it up. Okay, so they were like, so there was nothing. I just talked about it, but let me pull up what they
Oh,
actually. So there was no move. They went down like 2 cents. I just talked
okay.
about it because there's some talk about the Disney thing, and it's like still cheaper. It's under $4.
Oh,
I
okay,
was
okay.
trying to
So
ID the cheaper stuff because I tend to go for these higher companies. I know you like the more penny stuff, so I'm trying to find
yeah,
ones
yeah, yeah. Well,
like
you're a
under
classy
5, 10
guy.
bucks. Well,
Listen, you're a
like
classy
some of
guy.
the cheaper stuff we talked about. Hive, which is like
Yeah.
$5. We talked
Oh,
about.
that's amazing. Fuck that. Yeah. By the way,
Is it
Fubo.
okay?
Nick. Fubo was actually one of our clients.
Really?
Like, yeah, 5 years ago, it was on the bulletin board. It was an OTC stock, and everybody was saying it was a scam. Now this is before they merged. Okay. Oh, actually, Fubo was very similar to like Ciata. In other words, they merged. They basically took over this OTC company to go public. So the OTC company, that was my client, right? It was like $9, and then Fubo went to like $60.
Yeah,
So
it
it was a
did
six
pop.
bagger. It
Oh
wasn't a
wow.
big, yeah, it wasn't a big move. And then it was a whole thing. But Fubo. Anyway, so Fubo. I actually own Fubo. I bought some in the threes. I think in the threes. I in the threes. What I've
I have
had
a
it for like a
small
year now.
amount. I have a small amount in the threes also. Very small. It's
But
like irrelevant,
but
but yeah, I have a
but
small amount in the threes.
but the thesis with Fubo, it's very similar to like Ciata. Basically, Disney is going to own like I think 80% of it or something. What's the number? What did they
I
say?
don't
Is it
know.
seven?
It's a large. Here, let me look it up. But it's a large chunk. Here, I'll find it.
They're going to own most of it basically,
Yes,
and they're going to. And what they say? Give us the details. You're much more articulate. You give us
I'm finding it.
give us
70%.
Nick. You get paid.
So okay, they're gonna become they'll own 70% of it, and their existing management team will be incorporated into Disney. And they
Okay.
will combine Fubo into Hulu Plus and live TV, which is I think where
Okay.
Disney does all their like those Star Wars shows and all that crap. That's
Oh yeah.
all on Hulu. So like if you can get Fubo onto Hulu, that's more eyeballs onto Fubo.
Yeah. No.
For sure.
No. What about? Wait. Do you use any of these? Do you have Hulu or any of these things?
No, but I own FUBO stock. But I mean, I use Netflix. I use Netflix, but I don't use. Yeah, that's the only one I use myself in terms of like a TV service, if that makes sense.
Why don't you? How come you don't have? Hulu or whatever it's called? Hulu.
Because I spend my money on degenerate gambling options, zero DTEs. That's why. No,
You got no money left for Hulu?
I got no money for the $5 a month for Hulu. No, I'll look into it. I mean, honestly, I don't have a lot of time to really watch this stuff. Occasionally I pop on Netflix, just to watch something. I really don't use it that much. But I've had like sports packages in the past. If I think that's what Fubo is like kind of known for, is like soccer or something like that, especially in like Latin American markets. Again, like that's not really my sport, but I've had like MLB, what is it, like Game Day or whatever, those packages, and those are cool. Those are definitely worth it.